Number 7, Layla Kelbel. Number 15, Anna Champion. Number 16, Tatum Adamson. Number 18, Adriana Alberts. Number 21, Ashlyn Skinner Barrett. Number 24, Haley Christensen. Number 27, Greta Hansen. And number 88, Savannah Sievert.
Please rise. And now, to honor America and all that it stands for, as well as our freedom and those who serve to protect it, the playing of our national anthem.
At this level of women's soccer in the Midwest, it doesn't get any better than this. FC Milwaukee Torrent, a team with some of the region's top women's Division I collegiate talent, brought up through some of its best-known youth clubs in a cohesive style, combining depth, off-ball movement, and stifling defense. The Green Bay Glory, a club that has built a culture of welcoming players of all ages and career stages from the Fox Valley that appears to be coming into its own after starting the 2025 season with a 10-0 victory over Milwaukee City AFC and an impressive 4-1 win over Chicago House AC. Glory owner Carrie Geocaris still occasionally dons a kit for the side despite being almost a quarter century removed from the end of her collegiate career. Before she started the Glory, though, she was part of the inaugural Torrent women's side, learning much from Andy Davi about the ins and outs of this level of the game. Tonight, Davi's group goes up against Geocaris' in what the Women's Premier Soccer League has already labeled as the Central Region's Game of the Week. Two teams that have played 3 games without a loss and have a combined plus 17 goal differential. With the eyes of the region and nation upon us, get ready for some quality soccer on this late May Saturday night. From Charles Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, it's Torrent time. Good evening, everyone. Dan Pfeiffer alongside Kevin O'Connor, my producer, engineer, PA person, cameraman, and music man, leading the 76 trombones and 110 cornets because the Wells Fargo wagon is a-coming, and it has something very, very special in the form of a great soccer match between the 1-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent and the 2-0 Green Bay Glory, set to create some trouble in this WPSL Central Region North Lakes Conference Lake Michigan Division showdown, whether or not that trouble begins with a capital T. There's a couple things I want to bring up here before we get this game underway. First off, for all the years Simon Provan was the play-by-play person for FC Milwaukee Torrent, a professor, Mr. Provan, who teaches acting, never once did he bring musical theater into the broadcast. So I am very proud of myself tonight for all of the Music Man references. Go watch the 1962 film if you get the chance. Shirley Duncan, Robert Preston, Marion the Librarian, if you will. Secondly, this was actually supposed to be the second of 2 meetings between these teams this week. The first was supposed to be earlier this week as the Torrent and Glory were supposed to do battle in a USASA Region 2 Cup tie. However, with Milwaukee City AFC withdrawing from the Cup that left 4 teams in the regional pod, there was no need to play that match. They will redraw the bracket in the near future. That means this match will be our first opportunity to see how these two sides match up, with the Glory coming in at 15th in the WPSL's National Weekly Power Rankings, and the Torrent sitting at 18th. However, the Torrent are back-to-back-to-back division champions and haven't dropped a WPSL regular season match since the 2021 season. We are underway here at Hart Park on this sunny, summery night, starting to finally get some hints of the nice weather that we know we will experience throughout this Wisconsin 2025 summer. As the temperatures have been in the low 60s most of the day today, we do expect it to cool down a little bit as the evening goes along. But as the match gets underway, you did hear the starting lineups as presented by Kevin O'Connor, our PA person. First foul of the match is committed by the Green Bay Glory. For FC Milwaukee Torrent and Andy Davi, it will be Sophia Balistreri, who had a goal in the Torrent's opener against Milwaukee City AFC, Layla Kelbel, Lainey Higgins, Anna Champagne, Tatum Adamson, Adriana Alberts, Ashlyn Skinner-Barrett, Haley Christensen, Greta Hansen, and Savannah Sievert in front of keeper Kate Hopma. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Glory will have Allie Torhorst between the pipes. It will be Emily McCarthy, Wiley Winrich, Jenna Scholes, Michaela Legois, Claire Bradford, Abby Lam, Alyssa Miracle, Trudy Kwidzinski, Allison Roche, and Jenna Bauman, making up the first 11 for Patrick Berder's Green Bay Glory. Berder taking over for Linda Moynihan Vance. Berder, a longtime part of the Glory organization. And as mentioned, these are two squads that are very familiar with each other. A lot of crossover through the years between the Glory and the Torrent. A number of folks have been involved with both organizations through time. So this is a group that definitely has some familiarity. We would call it a rivalry even. And, when you're talking about a Lake Michigan division, as the Torrent send that out over the touchline, it'll be a throw-in for the Green Bay Glory, where you have three squads from the Milwaukee area. You wouldn't think that the Torrent would have such a strong rivalry with a team coming out of Green Bay, the Fox Valley area. And by the way, the fact that it used to be Green Bay Glory playing at both Aldo Santaga Stadium, the home of the UW Green Bay Phoenix, and, believe it or not, they played for a while too at the home of the Green Bay Rockers Baseball Club. Now, the Green Bay Glory, even though they are still using Green Bay in their name, are more so the Appleton Glory than anything. They are playing at Lawrence University's Banta Bowl facility, all of their home matches now. So even though they still have Green Bay in their name, they are going more so with being located in the Appleton area for the time being. But again, it's a Glory squad that's a little bit of a different look this year, but with the success they've had thus far, and we mentioned 14 goals already on the season, granted, 10 of those came against that Milwaukee City AFC side, which is in its first year in this division and is still getting accustomed to this level of play. But that win over House, one that definitely stands out. That's a quality win for the Glory side, and Patrick Berder should be happy with what his team has done so far. We do have a Glory player down. We're going to get a whistle here. The offside flag did go up, so the Torrent were too far forward, but we are watching Alyssa Miracle, who has been a part of this Glory squad for quite a few years, and that's another piece that we'll talk about with the Glory. She is down, and she is reaching for her right knee, and that is not something that we ever want to see in this sort of a situation. Miracle, part of the back line for the Glory out of Neenah, played at UW Green Bay. 19 years of soccer under her belt. Has been with the Glory a few different times. She is going to come off. The Glory will send a substitute on. That will be Mallory Herber. Bayport High School, number 5 for the Glory. And they will take Miracle over to the Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital tent to take a look, and hopefully everything is okay, as Miracle has been a big part of what the Glory have tried to do throughout their history here. Talk about her. Talk about Michaela Legois as well. Shot for the Torrent. That is deflected up and over the goal. As we mention, Legois, formerly Michaela Kirschner, going now by her married name. Still called Kirch by a lot of her teammates. Corner kick coming up for the Torrent. First of the match for either side in this contest. Sent in by the Torrent. Looking for a header. Can't find it. On the back end, almost there. Stepped on the ball. Glory now looking to counter. Good ball across. And now the Glory have some room to run. Straight up through the middle. Knocked away from Jenna Bauman over across the touchline. Good defense by Savannah Sievert on the recovery. And the Glory on the breakaway, unable to capitalize with any form of a shot. But they will now have a throw-in, perhaps directly into the 18-yard box. Just outside the box, it is Trudy Kwidzinski. She puts it up and over the goal. Perhaps a misstruck cross there for Kwidzinski, who did have 2 of the goals against House in that 4-1 victory for the Green Bay Glory. It'll be a goal kick for the Torrent as the Glory rattle their saber for the first time in this contest in the 6th minute. But yeah, some differing philosophies in terms of building these two sides. Andy Davi with his side likes to go out and find some of the best Division I talent that has come through particularly Waukesha County, but certainly the entire Milwaukee area. Good stop-and-go move inside the 6-yard box, knocked away at the last second. Torrent still on the attack, though. One last touch, not there. 1v1. Skinner Barrett's far side, throw in for the Torrent. We spoke during the Torrent's victory over Milwaukee City AFC, a 4-0 victory last weekend, about the makeup of this Torrent roster. 6 players attending the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, 5 from Marquette University here in Milwaukee. Meanwhile, the Glory, again, a little bit more of a Division III type look for this Glory squad. We talked about that with City and how many players they had from MSOE. That'll be a foul whistle against the Torrent. Lainey Higgins, the Torrent captain, the one who commits the offense. Outstanding defense for Adriana Alberts, midfielder out of Brookfield. Marquette Golden Eagle. Glory do get possession back, though. Trudy Kwidzinski plays it back. 1-2 ball forward. Scholes, right side. Taken off her foot. Taken away by Balistreri. Scholes able to get it back, though. Bauman. Tripped up. No call against Balistreri as it was well after the ball had left Bauman's foot. Pressure being applied by Patrick Berter's squad early on here. Outstanding on-ball pressure. We'll see if the Torrent and their off-ball movement tonight start to give the Glory some issues as time goes on, especially with that strong on-ball pressure that they are applying at the moment. And we will have a substitution here for the Glory as they are going into their reserve unit quickly in this match. Of course, we mentioned Miracle going down, so she was replaced by Mallory Herber. Now we see Katie Drexler coming on. She is out of Appleton North High School, attending Illinois Springfield. Callie Drexler.
Coming up for the Glory, number 26, Callie Drexler.
She replaces Claire Bradford. Illinois Springfield for Callie Drexler, not Buffalo Springfield. Stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. This will be a corner kick for the Torrent as it rolled out just to the far side of the corner flag. Haley Christensen will take it. She had a goal. She had the first goal of the season for FC Milwaukee Torrent in that match against City. The 4-0 victory. Torrent dominated possession in that match. Didn't have as many finishes as the Glory had against City. Both of these squads opening against Milwaukee City AFC. That ball will ricochet off of Jenna Scholes out beyond the touchline. Throw in for FC Milwaukee Torrent. But the Torrent did have, again, possession through much of that match. Goals in the 4th, 19th, 40th, and 80th minutes. Meanwhile, the Glory scored goals in the 4th, 13th, 22nd, 28th, 45th, 47th, 51st, 53rd, 65th, and 80th minutes. Did I mention something about 76 trombones and 110 cornets in the Open? I think I did. If you weren't in the band for that game, you were probably scoring a goal. Glory working things back into their attacking half. Good run by Jenna Bauman. Gets past the defender. A sliding tackle for Anna Champagne. And on the back end of the tackle, Champagne also gets Bauman. Bauman trying to get back up. Kind of caught the leg of Champagne. No foul call. No foul call there against Sophia Balistreri. However, the Glory maintained possession. Scholes to McCarthy outside the box. Was looking for Herber, the substitute for Miracle. Couldn't find her on the cross. Now the Torrent will try and go the opposite direction quickly. Hopma looks to the far side of the pitch, and Layla Kelbell. Kelbell will play it back towards the middle. Savannah Sievert. Sievert. Direct ball. Torrent get it back. Good ball. To the near side, that is Higgins. Through the middle, beats a couple defenders. Left-footed shot. The keeper falls down as the feet went out from under Ali Torhorst. But good awareness by Torhorst. She keeps her hands in place and makes the save. Excitement in the 11th minute here as the Torrent and the Glory have played it even thus far. Ball played towards the middle. That will go beyond everyone, including Greta Hansen, the last defender back. Hopma is able to collect. Torrent will slow things down a little here. Torrent like to play a very organized style. Very befitting, of course, their German manager, Andy Davi. At times it almost seems a little tiki-taka, and they've been getting out of that thus far, but playing a little more direct with this pressure being applied by the Glory, trying to disrupt some of those short passes. Nice move by Adriana Alberts. Playing a defensive midfield position. She goes down, taken down by Winrich, but a good ball forward. Higgins, left side, versus the defender. Shot on and saved by Hopma, or correction, by Torhorst. Off of the distribution, Balistreri able to get it back for the Torrent. Going down is Higgins. Referee holds on to his whistle. Ball played over to the near side. Scholes is there. Balistreri can't keep her feet. Glory get possession back. So far, just staying upright has been a challenge for both of these sides. Certainly no issues in terms of the turf. There was significant rain here in the Milwaukee area last night. A lot of the high school matches in the area were impacted by lightning for a time, particularly if they started a little bit earlier in the evening. But it has been nothing but dry since the rains passed through last night. It's been a, as mentioned, pleasant day, a little cool here in Milwaukee, but certainly there's been more than enough time for this outstanding turf here at Hart Park to drain. Just the intensity of the match thus far, I think. Such that players trying to do a little bit more than they've had to do thus far this season. Good cross in for the Torrent. On the opposite side, it's in! Sophia Balistreri on the back end. FC Milwaukee Torrent 1, Green Bay Glory 0. Sophia Balistreri in the 13th minute. Right place, right time. Off the cross by Skinner Barrett, and it's 1-0 in favor of the Torrents.
Your first FC Milwaukee Torrent goal by number 4, Sophia Balistreri.
Exactly how you want to draw it up. Balistreri in the right place for the cross. Right off the front of her forehead and into the back of the net. 1-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. Substitutions for the Glory. Claire Bradford will come on.
Coming up for the Glory, number 11, Claire Bradford, and number 3, Carrie Giocaris.
Along with Carrie Giocaris, the club owner. A Marquette alum in the class of 2001. She played some of her collegiate soccer in years that began with 1. Back out there for the Green Bay Glory. One of the creators of the club, owner of the club. While we're discussing Carrie Giocaris and her lengthy soccer career, my producer, engineer, all-around good guy, Kevin O'Connor, is discussing the fact that he is about, probably, in the same age range as Carrie Giocaris, and is likely not in the same physical condition. Let's just put it that way. It's not one to Kevin, I get the impression that playing high-level soccer is not something you have in your immediate future here. He's talking about needing to have his knees replaced, potentially. Meanwhile, Carrie Giocaris is out there, and as you can see, she is the one marking Savannah Sievert at the moment. Giocaris up front there for the Glory, who find themselves down 1-0 after that goal by Balistreri. Second goal of the season for Balistreri. She did score in the 80th minute for the Torrent against Milwaukee City. So that is the second straight Torrent goal off the personage of Balistrary. Wanted to say foot, but that one was not off of her foot. That was a header that went in. Meanwhile, just inside the 18, low pace shot from Tatum Adamson, who is new into the Torrent 11 tonight. She is a midfielder out of Heartland, Wisconsin. Ball sent over to the near side. It'll be a throw in for the Glory, and we will have another Glory substitution. Jordan Shodden comes on for the Green Bay Glory.
Coming up for the Glory, number 19, Jordan Shodden.
She replaces Riley Winrich. Shodden, an alum of Appleton East High School. However, she has, after attending Bemidji State, decided to take her soccer talents out to Hawaii Hilo, where she will be playing this fall. I would imagine conditions are quite pleasant out there. Ball touched out over the end line. We will have a corner kick for the Torrent. Kevin O'Connor asking me, why would you not play your soccer in Hawaii if you have the opportunity, except maybe for the chance of a volcano erupting? So I would imagine there would be a match interruption if that were to be the case. Short corner for the Torrent with this 1-0 lead. Ball taken inside the 18. Low cross. Not there. Deflected away by the Glory. Little spin move for Bauman. I would imagine travel for matches probably isn't real easy if you're playing at Hawaii Hilo. Probably have to go back to the mainland a decent number of times. I mean, I would imagine there's a couple other sides that you can take on out there, but again, certainly a very pleasant environment. Going down to the ground is Alberts. However, she was looking to play the ball back, and our official tonight is Armin Sadzak. Knowing that these two teams are out here as rivals, playing a physical brand of soccer. Letting some things go. Left-footed shot for Christensen. That goes wide of the mark. Letting it go is Torhorst. Glory will make another substitution before the goal kick is to come. That is Emily McCarthy, who returns to the Glory 11. She was part of the first 11 for this match for the Glory. She replaces Jenna Bauman. Talk about the Marquette presence for the Torrent. McCarthy, a Kimberly Papermaker, headed to Marquette. Play for David Korn's side. My producer, Kevin O'Connor, bringing up the information on Hawaii Hilo. They play in the Pac West Conference, which is predominantly schools in California. And as is the case with a lot of the institutions in Hawaii, certainly there is a connection to the West Coast. But a lot of folks probably don't necessarily understand just how far south relative to the continental 48 United States Hawaii is. A lot of folks, you think about how on a lot of flat maps, if you will, once upon a time there are those of us who are old enough to remember the old pull-down maps in our classrooms. They don't have those anymore. Now you just pull it up on a computer, but a lot of the time you just see Hawaii and Alaska in little boxes in the corner of a United States map. Well, Hawaii actually is significantly south and west of the continental 48 United States. So, you know, it's not like certainly Hawaii and Alaska are a very long ways away and quite a bit away from each other in terms of temperature conditions as well, too. So, you know, it's not like you're thinking of those two areas as anywhere near each other. But, yeah, even for the University of Hawaii, which is the Rainbow Warriors through the years, they've had to play a lot of their sports where they've been part of the WAC and the Mountain West, and it sometimes is difficult for them to find a conference where things can work out for them. Greta Hansen, unfortunately, cannot keep that ball across the touchline. It will be a throw in for the Glory. Yeah, a 9-hour flight from Hilo to San Diego, and you know that's one of the reasons why for all of the great things about Hawaii. Certainly it is a worldwide vacation destination and popular honeymoon spot for a lot of folks. And when people talk about places in the world where they would love to live, Hawaii is one of them. But, it is kind of disconnected from the rest of the world. And as such, there are some things about Hawaii as that ball is played into the box, but cleared away by Abby Lam for the Glory. Torrent well outside the box. Cross coming on, collected by the keeper, Torhorst. Yeah, it is not the most affordable place to live from what I've heard because so much has to be brought to the islands, shipped in on a semi-regular basis, and that includes the fact that they kind of have to make the best that they can with anything construction-wise, as we have a small delay here before the throw-in, but the throw-in is then made by Greta Hansen. Good ball towards the middle. Alberts to the far side. Skinner Barrett already has one assist. Looking into the middle. Coming away with the ball off the foot of the keeper and just wide of the far post. Corner kick for the Torrent after Kelbo almost doubles the advantage.
Layla needs the nickname Layla. I think we're going to need a little more cowbell.
Corner kick for the Torrent. We'll hold off on talking about Hawaii and the truly awful joke that Kevin O'Connor just said off the air, which if you couldn't hear it on the air, I actually am kind of proud of you and envy you, to be honest with you. He's talking about Layla Kelbell. Shot on, saved. Higgins finds Torhorst. It was a reference to a Saturday Night Live sketch, and goodness knows you can take a guess which one. But handball against the Glory. Torrent. They'll maybe try and pull something off the training ground here as Higgins sends it in. Torrent off the set piece, looking for Skinner Barrett on the far side. Skinner Barrett cannot control, and now we have reached the point in the match where the Torrent will do a mass substitution. So among those coming on for the Torrent, Maya Wilson, Caden Screama, Addison Stanchiak, Kate Downs, and Sydney Bolus. If we missed anyone, we will make a point to mention them as they get touches coming off. Balistreri, the goal scorer, Alberts, Christensen, Layla Kelbell as well. This is how Andy Davi does it, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Torrent women's soccer, and it is free substitution in the WPSL, so he can substitute in any manner he so chooses. What he does is he takes his entire bench, and at the midway point of each half, he just goes with a complete rotation. Among those coming on, we mentioned Maya Wilson. She had one of the 4 goals against City. Addison Stanchick from Gurnee, Illinois. A Billiken attending St. Louis University. Caden Screama played for Andy Davi at Catholic Memorial High School. Now going to St. Thomas, Minnesota. Program that recently upgraded the Tommies to Division I in the last few years. Sydney Bolus, former Franklin resident, now a Flame down at the University of Illinois, Chicago. Among the 5 on for the Torrent. UIC Flames, nice facility down there. I've had a chance to visit a couple different times. Very good view of the Chicago skyline from their facility. They also have the Curtis Granderson Field near there, too. That is where the baseball team plays. Shot on for the Glory! Took all of us by surprise, including Kate Hopma, as right there was Emily McCarthy, who has already come off and come back on. Off the cross by Claire Bradford. Substitute for the Glory. McCarthy slipped the defender, got right in front of the keeper, Hopma, and just put it wide of the far post. And they say it was off the Torrent, so it will be a corner kick for the Glory in the 26th minute. One touch sent away quickly by the Torrent. Played back. Cross leaping up into the air is Hopma. Using all of her length, the Libertyville, Illinois native and Drake Bulldog is able to pull that one out of the sky, and now the Torrent looking to counter. Skinner Barrett still out there for the Torrent. Far side. Had the assist on the first goal. Great move to the edge of the 18. Taken away from her. Ball up over the top. See who wins the second ball. It'll be the Torrent. They'll play it to the near side. Greta Hansen. Hansen brings it forward. Glory a little slow to adjust. They lose Caden Screama on the far side, but part of the reason they did lose her was because she was beyond the final defender. Offside. And that brings on substitutes for the Glory. Jenna Bauman returns, along with Jenna Scholes and Riley Winrick. All three were in the first 11 for the Glory, so they make their way back out onto the pitch at this time. Jordan Schotten, Carrie Giocaris, and Mallory Herber, who came on for Alyssa Miracle, among those who came off for the Glory. 28th minute of the match. FC Milwaukee Torrent have the advantage on the strength of a Sophia Balistreri goal in the 13th minute, just as the clock ticked from 12 to 13. Glory are handling the pace of the Torrent thus far. Torrent working a little bit more up-tempo today, but the Glory, they have come out with a goal tonight of playing a very active brand of soccer. Defending tight. Ball played up over the top. Coming off her line is Torhorst, and Torhorst does come up to collect. Good vision there by Torhorst to see that there was only one Torrent player in the form of Maya Wilson coming forward to threaten. So she had the opportunity to come forward and put an end to that Torrent run. Good ball played across to the near side. It lands off the foot of Claire Bradford. Bradford, though, will have time to collect in the corner. It will go off of Caden Screama, and it will be a throw-in for the Glory. We talked with Milwaukee City AFC about their significant amount of MSOE presence on their roster. Bradford, even though she hails from De Pere, Wisconsin, also an MSOE Raider, out here with the Glory. Quality program in the neck. Ball into the middle, a couple touches. Shot deflected out over the end line. Trudy Kwidzinski, who had 2 goals against Chicago House, almost equalized this match in the 29th minute. Caden Screama fortunate to take one last step forward and deflect that out before Kate Hopma got challenged. This will be an in-swinger for the Glory on the corner. Into the middle, Hopma. Over the top of both a couple defenders and a Glory striker. Distributed with the hand to the near side. Hansen back to Hopma. Hansen tries to make a move. Knocked out over the touchline. Throw in for the Torrent. Impressed so far with Jenna Bauman. Attacking midfielder for the Glory. She comes out of DC Everest, the Wausau, Wisconsin area. And for all of the Marquette players that are out there, she is attending Marquette's biggest in-state rival. That would be the school that wears cardinal and white. The University of Wisconsin-Madison, home of the Badgers. Good ball forward, chasing it down. Claire Bradford tries to get a cross off before it goes out over the end line. All that does is send the ball from one side of the end line to the other. Couldn't get the right spin on it. Quick restart for the Torrent and Hopma. Good ball forward to Adamson. Looking along the touchline, she's got Skinner Barrett. Skinner Barrett on the run. Stanchik. Skinner Barrett will hold on to it. She'll take it down the edge of the 18. But Shanna Bauman on that side of the pitch gets the job done. First appearance of the train this evening. Stand corrected there in terms of who made that defensive play for the Green Bay Glory, as we also get a Glory substitution as well. I believe that was Callie Drexler on that side of the field. We'll check on that. And we did mention, or you heard in the background, that Lucy Kwidzinski now comes on for the Glory. One of a few players for the Glory who attended Notre Dame Academy, the home of the Tritons. Consistently very good girls soccer program up in the Green Bay area. She's going to play her college soccer at UW La Crosse this fall. Both of the Kwidzinski sisters, Lucy and Trudy, Notre Dame Tritons. Through ball, gets through everybody. Just in case it was touched, Allie Torhorst comes over and makes a diving play on the ball. She'll distribute to the near side. First one to get a touch on it is wearing blue. That's Caden Screama. Torrent get possession back. Little 1-2 ball action, and that ball's going to be closer to the train than it will be to the goal as it comes off the foot of Addison Stanchik. But she got under it just a shade. Goal kick for the Glory. 33rd minute of the match on this very pleasant evening here in Milwaukee. Try and punch up the weather forecast in just a moment here, but Glory will let that ball go out. You'll see the graphic, courtesy of the Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. 61 degrees here in Wauwatosa this evening, with wind gusts up to 8 miles per hour. It's 61, and it feels like it's 61. Wow, that's amazing. 5 miles per hour out of the south-southwest right now on this final day of May in the year 2025. Tomorrow, June 1st. Haven't told anyone in the box yet, but tomorrow I will be turning a digit over on the odometer. Birthday number 43 tomorrow for me. At some point in time, I'll make something of my life. Not yet, though. But don't have any specific plans. It's always fun to celebrate with the Torrent, though. I've always liked having a birthday right at the very start of summer, and at the very start of June, too. It really does feel like that's when summer gets underway, when you turn that page on the calendar. By the way, for the Glory, Jordan Shodden is back at midfield and will enter the match shortly as a substitute, but get into festival season in Milwaukee. Lots of fun stuff going on around town starting in June. And, of course, full slate of Milwaukee Torrent matches. Be sure to visit MilwaukeeTorrent.com. Get your tickets for these upcoming matches, not just WPSL and NPSL play, but, of course, you've got the USASA Amateur Cup. Should be a few ties in that cup for both the men and the women coming here to Hart Park. Hopefully some playoff action this year as well. Find out more, see a full schedule. MilwaukeeTorrent.com. Good 1-2 ball for the Glory out to the near side. Jenna Bauman plays it back towards the middle, and Lucy Kwidzinski. Up top, that's McCarthy. Wiley Winrick has the ball sent back her direction by Lainey Higgins. Little contact with Maya Wilson, but she's able to control, gets it back to Higgins, and Higgins will bring it forward for the Torrent. Looking back to the outside, Skinner Barrett. She has been dangerous tonight. Cross with the left foot. Off the Glory. Torrent supporters thinking there was a handball. Armin Sadzek shakes his finger, Dikembe Mutombo style, at everyone on the pitch. Ball touched out beyond the touchline. It'll be a throw-in for the Torrent. Andy Davi talking with the fourth official right now, pleading his case that should have been a handball as well, which would have resulted in a penalty kick for the Torrent, being inside the 18 as it was. Instead, it's Adamson with the cross, headed away at first by the Glory, working to chase it down, Laney Higgins. Torrent keep it on. Little mistouch for the Torrent there, and it's taken away. Lucy Kwidzinski settles, sends it forward towards Bauman. Bauman, good ball forward, onside. Emily McCarthy, perhaps a little bit early on, looking for the opportunity to shoot. Couldn't get much behind it. Kate Hopma hops on it. Torrent will look to counter. Nice 1-2 ball from Kate Downs back to Skinner Barrett. Skinner Barrett unmarked for the moment. Now stepping to the ball is Drexler. Skinner Barrett, oh, great run for Adamson. And then a shot from distance, but that goes wide of the mark. Substitutions for the Glory. Mallory Herber will return. She will be joined by Lainey Weichert, wearing a different number tonight, number 24. And Jordan Shodden, who we had mentioned had been at the table for quite some time. Among those coming off for the Glory, Michaela Legois, who we have not discussed much this evening, bit of a surprise there. Jenna Scholes also. Claire Bradford also now off, and notably walking down the track, Trudy Kwidzinski for the Glory. And it's interesting that Kwidzinski is walking well away from the Glory bench, now walking back towards the bench, maybe just getting her breath about her there. If Trudy Kwidzinski and Kirch, Michaela Legois. Part of the heart and soul of this Glory side. 38th minute of the match. Torrent have the advantage on the strength of a Sophia Ballestori goal in the 13th minute. Good to have you on board on this Saturday night. Edge of the 18, cleared away by the Glory. The Midwest, or we should say Central region. I keep thinking of it as the Midwest region. It is the Central region of the WPSL. Game of the night, game of the week. These two nationally ranked teams, according to the WPSL Weekly Power Rankings. Glory coming in at 15. FC Milwaukee Torrent at 18. Certainly on the strength of the scores, you can see why they're ranked that way. Of course, when you break it down in terms of some of the history between these two sides, the Torrent have been successful against the Glory more often than it's been the other way around. Glory have gotten a couple draws against the Torrent, but the Torrent got victories in both matchups between these two sides last year. A pair of 2-0 victories for FC Milwaukee Torrent. We mentioned the Torrent have won 3 straight division championships and have been very untouchable the last few years. They've had a couple draws mixed in there, but it has been a while since a team has come into Hart Park and had enough success to get 3 points against the Torrent. You got to go back to the days when the old Red Stars reserves team was coming back up here on a regular basis to find sides that had significant success against the Torrent as the Torrent worked the ball down the wing. That is Screama with the effort, kind of a cross, if you will. Couldn't tell if that was supposed to be played on frame or if that was looking for a teammate. Pulled out of the sky by Torhorst, who has had a busy night thus far. Ball played forward. Looking to clear was Champagne, but she couldn't do it. Ball played to the middle. Bauman was there. Tried the sliding attempt, couldn't get a foot behind it. Now the Torrent get it back. There have been a couple moments tonight where the Torrent defensive back line has been tested in ways that certainly Milwaukee City AFC did not test them last week. Milwaukee City AFC barely had possession, it seemed like, in that match, but maybe a little bit behind things thus far. Maybe taking it easy in some moments where the Glory kind of lulling the Torrent a little bit to sleep and then using some of that newfound speed that we're seeing from them as this ball was trying to be crossed, but before the cross was there for Skrima, which went behind the goal anyhow, she was offside. So when you ask the question as to why that attack was not successful for the Torrent, the answer is D, all of the above. Carrie Giocaris, as is her right as club owner, executive director, and striker, heads back out onto the pitch. She replaces McCarthy, who was moved a little bit slower since that sliding attempt earlier. Giocaris will come on for the final few minutes of this first half. We are in the 42nd minute. It has been as advertised. The Glory have given FC Milwaukee Torrent a match. But it was Balistreri on the business end of a Ashlyn Skinner-Barrett cross. A Milwaukee Panther to a Northern Iowa Panther. And that's why the Torrent has the 1-0 advantage as we make our way through this 42nd minute. Champagne over to the far side. That is Ballas. Looking for Skinner-Barrett, who has really directed the Torrent attack tonight. One touch! And that goes just up and over the goal. Torrent really trying to work that right side. That time it was Skinner-Barrett finding Maya Wilson, going with the shorter cross option. Wilson, great touch, just a little bit high. To think to go one touch in that moment, and say what you will. There are those who may say, well, you know, she didn't hit the target, so can you really call it a great touch? Yes, because it was the right decision there to go one touch. That's a challenging shot. And not only that, you plant the seed then in the back line's mind that that's something you have in your arsenal. So then when you have the opportunity later in the match to maybe settle the ball, reverse directions, and make a play on the keeper, you can have that in your arsenal as well. So you will get no criticism from me. You will hear me call that shot by Maya Wilson an outstanding shot, as it was the opportunity that was presented to her. It was a challenging one. She did her best with it. And you know what? It might set up some other things later. Far side, Ballas. Got about a minute and a half before we make our way into first half stoppage time. Torrent content to just play the ball through the back right now. That's Kate Downs. Talked about her quite a bit during the match against City. Playing a defensive midfielder spot for the Torrent right now. To the near side, Greta Hansen. The Glory, well aware that the Torrent have been working that right side of the pitch quite a bit tonight. Content to allow the Torrent to utilize the left side. Indeed, as the Torrent try to work the ball back towards the middle, it is Herber who disrupts the Torrent attack. Although the Torrent do get it back with Kate Downs, and now they will work out of the back again. Just looking to set up something quality here as we make our way towards the end of the first half. No indication just yet as to how much stoppage time we will have. In the middle, it's Alberts. Correction, Adamson. The 6 and the 8 on these Germanic Torrent uniform number fonts. Sometimes hard to differentiate, especially with both players out there on the pitch. Near side, Greta Hansen. Played a ball forward, getting wrong-footed was Kaiten Skrima. She was looking for a ball played back away from the end line. Instead, the ball was played forward toward the end line. However, the Torrent will get a throw in. Appears as though the indication will be 2 minutes of added time. That is the signal that we saw from the fourth official.
The referees indicated 2 minutes of added time. 2 minutes.
Seemingly no complaints with the announcement made over the tannoy system, if you will, using the English term of 2 minutes of added time. Added stoppage time. Stoppage added time. extra time, additional time, time after the clock runs out. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Time has come today. None of those songs were in the Music Man, by the way. Throw in for the glory. You know, I think maybe I should start doing these games from a separate booth, sitting next to the producer. Maybe not the best idea for me. At least I'm remembering to go back and explain it to those of you who are watching via the Torrent YouTube channel and tell you what's going on here as Kevin O'Connor is sitting next to me and offering up some words of wisdom. I have had the opportunity in my career. I consider myself fortunate. For 1 year of high school gridiron football, I had the chance to work with a Milwaukee area producer legend, Kent Sommerfeld, who spent much of the many years that Bob Uecker was in the box for the Milwaukee Brewers, the late, great Bob Uecker, who, of course, passed away during the winter. Yes, the Brewers got a big victory today over the Phillies, but Kent Sommerfeld started with the Brewers, to give you an idea, and a pretty good year to start with the Brewers, too, in 1987, but learned a lot about the trade from Kent Sommerfeld, and having a chance to do games with him. He also actually did some play-by-play for the Marquette women's basketball team once upon a time, too, so he knew his way around a microphone as well. We had him do some color commentary in addition to being a producer, but learned a lot, especially about interviewing coaches from Kent Sommerfeld. Very good at that part of it and knew the business quite well. There is the whistle to indicate the end of the first half. And at the end of the first half, there is one goal on the board. It came off the head of Sophia Palestreri. And that is why FC Milwaukee Torrent has the 1-0 advantage as we head to recess in this key WPSL game at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. We will take a break for halftime. When we come back, we will have second half action. We will tell you more about this Torrent Glory match, what to expect from the second half when we return just prior to the start of that second half of play. In addition to what is to come for the Torrent in the coming weeks, both the women's side and the men's side with some key matches coming up. But for now, it is halftime, and the Torrent do have a 1-0 advantage over the Green Bay Glory. This is Milwaukee Torrent Soccer. Back with you from Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, where FC Milwaukee Torrent has a 1-0 advantage on the Green Bay Glory. It has been the match that we expected it to be, a very good match between two nationally ranked sides, as FC Milwaukee Torrent was able to get the advantage with Sophia Balistreri coming up to take a cross from Ashlyn Skinner-Barrett from the right side. Balistreri in the right place. She didn't get a lot behind it, but it was enough to get past the keeper, Allie Torhorst, and find the back of the net on the north side of the Hart Park pitch to give the Torrent this 1-0 advantage. But possession has been pretty even throughout this contest. The Glory have done a good job on the counter in particular of making their way down the pitch, and they've been very sneaky about their manner of attack as well. It has been the occasional cross and the occasional move by one of the Glory strikers to get into the right spot and maybe catch the Torrent a little bit off guard. So it's some of those unpredictable moments where the Glory can come up and surprise the Torrent and have really challenged Kate Hopma in goal for the Torrent. However, Hopma, to her credit, with some of the more designed plays that the Glory have run, has come off her line, has been outstanding in terms of coming out to collect crosses for the Torrent to keep the Glory from finding opportunities in front of the net. And that is why the Torrent have this 1-0 advantage. And keep in mind, Hopma really didn't have to do much. In fact, the entirety of the Torrent back line didn't really have to do much against Milwaukee City AFC. So this is their first test of the season and quite a good test for them. One of the best tests that they will see probably in this Lake Michigan division in the form of this Green Bay Glory side before they hopefully can claim another division championship. Don't want to assume that they will, especially the way the Glory has been playing, but the ultimate goal for the Torrent is to get back to the North Lakes Conference and Central Region playoffs for FC Milwaukee Torrent to try and, again, compete for perhaps even a high-level WPSL title. It'll be the Glory to kick things off to start the second half. They will move from right to left on whatever screen you may be watching this broadcast upon. Meanwhile, it will be the Torrent moving from left to right. That is north to south in terms of cardinal directions. The Torrent will be moving, wearing the blue kits with the white numerals tonight. The Glory wearing the away strip with white socks, white shorts, white tops, green numerals for the Glory, who count per. Has been a part of the Torrent's repertoire, both the women's side and the men's side, for the entirety of the Torrent's existence. Lights have come on here at Hart Park for the second half. They are in full effect. First half of this match played under twilight. Pleasant day here in Milwaukee, as we mentioned in the first half. Talked about the rain that came through last night. It has been a cool spring here in Milwaukee. Has not been one for the temperature to get up into that mid-70s, 80-degree range as it sometimes can in April and May. Good ball through. That finds Lainey Higgins. Higgins tried to send it forward, but Haley Christensen kind of just got held up a little bit by the defender. That allowed the ball to head forward to Torhorst, and Torhorst picked it up for the Glory and then returned it back to her defensive midfielder in Trudy Kwidzinski. Kwidzinski loses possession off of the pass by McCarthy. Torrent back with it. Adamson to the far side. Torrent still working that far side of the pitch. Of course, that's the left side of the attack now for the Torrent. Far side of the pitch in the first half was the right side as the Torrent headed towards the north goal. Now going towards the south goal, the concession stand end here at Hart Park. Scoreboard end 2. Versus the north end, the train end. Train tracks over there. Whistle the foul against the Torrent. Little too much contact on the part of Adriana Alberts. Glory will start things back up again. I'll go along with that ball. First touch is by the Torrent. And now we do see Ashlyn Skinner-Barrett, who has been out there the whole night for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Loses possession, taken away by Jenna Scholes. Scholes did have a goal among the 10 goals that the Glory had in their season opening victory against City. Good ball forward. Trudy Kwidzinski takes a shot from distance. One hopper that comes to Kate Hopma. She will collect. There was room in front of Trudy Kwidzinski, and Kwidzinski, who had 2 of the 4 Glory goals, as we mentioned a number of times, in their victory over Chicago House AC on May 25th, has not had a lot of opportunities tonight thus far, as, again, that central defense of the Torrent, always strong, and that continues to be the case this year. Champagne over to the right side. Once again, it's Skinner-Barrett. She has done so much work for FC Milwaukee Torrent from that corner of the pitch, whether it be the northeast corner or now the southwest corner. And here she wins a corner, which will be taken by Haley Christensen. Looks like the full first unit is back out there for FC Milwaukee Torrent to start this second half. We have not seen Alyssa Miracle since she went down with an injury for the Glory in the first half. Ball across. Doesn't come down to the Torrent at first. But after the ball is played back, a collision of 2 Glory and 1 Torrent player results in the ball being cleared by the Glory. Torrent will head back across the midfield stripe, chase it down. It'll go all the way back to Hopma. She will reverse the course of attack for the Torrent. It will come to the near side, and Sievert, who will then send it over to the far side. And now the Torrent will work that far side. Relatively little pressure here on Greta Hansen as she takes it forward. Hansen with the through ball. That does connect with Lainey Higgins. Higgins at the edge of the 18. Cross deflected. Controlled by the Glory, and the Glory come to the near side. Bauman. She's had some good touches tonight for the Glory. The Wisconsin Badger on the near side. Plays a ball across, unmarked. Coming to the edge of the 18. Shot up and over the top. The Glory have had opportunities tonight to equalize. That came off the foot of Claire Bradford, the De Pere Redbird, MSOE Red Raider. Andy Davi with some instructions to his back line after Bradford got the ball with space. Now the Torrent coming back the other direction. Sent out over the end line. Corner kick, FC Milwaukee Torrent. The lone goal of the match did come off of a cross. The Torrent have had a significant advantage in terms of winning corners tonight. However, they have not yet been able to capitalize. They'd like to change that here in the 51st minute. Christensen from the far side. Over the top. Headed away by the Glory. Torrent try and win the second ball, but it's sent out over the touchline. Hansen will be the one to make the throw in. Greta Hansen. Truman State University, a biology major on a pre-optometry track. Talk about having good vision. Glory get possession back. They'll take it into the attacking half. Poor touch taken away by the Torrent. Lainey Higgins. Higgins, contact made. No call from Armin Sadzak, who has let both teams play tonight. This has been a physical match. Claire Bradford, far side. Trudy Kwidzinski tried to force it to her. Torrent come away with it. Once again on the far side. Offside flag goes up. That ends that run for the Torrent. Considering the number of goals that we have seen in the first 3 matches for these two teams, the lowest scoring of them being the 4-0 victory for the Torrent over Milwaukee City AFC. Maybe a bit of a surprise that it's been 1-0 through this one thus far, but also know both of these teams do have outstanding defense. Falling to the ground, Jenna Bauman wanted the call, Felt contact, but it did look like it was her feet that gave out from underneath her. Maybe the ball even influenced that a little bit as well. Some of the Glory faithful who made their way down from the Fox Valley tonight, not happy with the non-call there by Armin Sadzak. But again, Sadzak tonight has been consistent. He has let these players decide things for themselves. Left-footed shot off the crossbar for Bauman. Bauman from distance. Best strike of the night for the Glory. And the Torrent are lucky to still have the 1-goal advantage. On the counter, Kelbell near side. Trying to beat the defender to the right. Inside the 18. Step over move. Now to her left. Left-footed shot deflected back across the touchline. Throw in for the Torrent. Now with the adrenaline pumping a little bit harder after that shot off the crossbar by Bauman. The Torrent trying to catch the Green Bay Glory off guard. 54th minute of the match. Taken away by Bauman. She has had an outstanding evening for the Glory. Whistle, foul. For everything that has not been called tonight, that looked like it was shoulder to shoulder with Adriana Alberts. However, she did knock down Trudy Kwidzinski. And now Armin Sadzak does go to the whistle. Andy Dobby with some talking points with his bench as the Glory go along with the free kick. Played all the way back. Hopma might want that one back. Wherever able to control with the head is Champagne. Skinner Barrett. Kelbell. Higgins. Finds Skinner Barrett. Cross deflected over the end line. Corner kick FC Milwaukee Torrent. So many things tonight for FC Milwaukee Torrent have gone through Ashlyn Skinner Barrett. The forward for the Torrent. Milwaukee Panther. Started for 4 years as a black shirt at Waukesha South. This corner kick will be taken by Haley Christensen. A cross off a Glory player towards the end line and then cleared by the Glory. So many corners tonight for the Torrent. They've yet to put one on the board from a corner, though. One hopper that comes down. Interesting decision by Torhorst. Rolling it out. There was a Torrent player right in front of her. Also, might have come across the 18-yard line as well. No call from Armin Sadzak. It can be tough at times here at Hart Park to differentiate between the different lines, and Sadzak probably wasn't looking down at the ground as she came all that way out. A lot of contact. No whistle against Savannah Sievert. Controlled on the far side by McCarthy. McCarthy. Optimistic ball into the box. Low cross. Cleared for the moment by the Torrent. Now controlled by the Torrent on the far side. Kelbell reverses direction. Finds Adamson in the middle. Will she look for Kelbell again at the edge of the 18? She will. But the offside flag goes up. Doesn't matter what happens from here. The Torrent were offside on the far side of the pitch. Fourth official having to talk down Andy Dobby, who is still pointing to the edge of the 18-yard box. Might have to try and watch that one back and see how far or where exactly Hopma was when she got that ball. We are hearing that she may have been well outside of the box, and yet there was no call from our official Armin Sadzak, and that is what Andy Dobby has pointed out to the linesman, the fourth official, and pretty much anyone in the Milwaukee area that's willing to listen to him. We should say Torhorst. I have been referring to the goalies, the incorrect goalies, a number of different times tonight. Still getting used to some of these different rosters as we get the season underway here. We'll have some substitutions for the Glory in a moment. Mallory Herber will come on for the Green Bay Glory. She will be joined by Lucy Kwidzinski, who will head out there to join her sister Trudy. Goal kick for the Glory. We are working on pulling up the replay here to see just exactly what the situation was. Of course, YouTube is giving us some advertisements for different meals that you can eat in your free time. A lot of contact there. Glory fans not happy with the fact that Ashlyn Skinner-Barrett knocked a player to the ground. And then we get a whistle and a foul against the Glory as it's Herber on as a substitute. Who takes down Adamson. Patrick Berter, the Green Bay Glory head coach, with some words for referee Armin Sadzak. And over on the other end, Andy Dobby talking with the linesman on his side of the pitch, letting his thoughts be known as well. Now, we talked in the first half extensively about the fact that Armin Sadzak was letting a lot of things go in that first half of play, and we've even mentioned it here in the first 15 minutes of this second half of play as we make our way into the 60th minute. But one of the risks you take as an official when you do not assert control of a match early on in the contest is then when you start having to make calls because the play does get a little bit more rough and physical, you get the question of, okay, why is that a foul now when it wasn't a foul before? And that can be something that happened as soon as 10 seconds earlier. It can be something that happened as many as 45 minutes earlier. But still, it is something that comes up when you have a match like this that is quite hotly contested. We did mention it is the Central Region WPSL Match of the Week. And it has been tight thus far. Again, that Bauman shot that rattled off the crossbar. Ultimately, the only reason right now that the one Torrent goal is held up. Good cross. Last second, headed up into the air by Lam. Shot on, deflected away from the goal. Great diving save by Torhorst. Corner for the Torrent. All credit to Allie Torhorst, the former Spash Panther. Full extension in net for the Glory. And she keeps this match a 1-0 affair. Again, it's Christensen to take the corner. Outswinger from Christensen. Two Torrent attackers there. However, the ball goes backwards off the head of one of them, then over the end line before the Torrent can play in another cross. We'll get a substitution for the Glory. Coming on is Jordan Schotten again.
Coming out for the Glory, number 19, Jordan Schotten.
She replaces Riley Winrich. Winrich has had a goal in each of the Glory's first two games. One of the goals against City, one of the 10 goals that Green Bay scored against Milwaukee City AFC, as well as one of the 4 goals the Glory put up against Chicago House AC. A little bit of a grab on the part of Layla Kelbell as she tries to get possession, but no foul called. Touched out by the Glory. Throw in for the Torrent. Skinner-Barrett on one hop. It comes back to Kelbell. She'll play it back to Adamson looking for a cross. Not much there. However, Adamson, she'll get it again. This time she'll send a cross looking for a runner. Sent wide by Christensen. Christensen was well marked. Could only get it with the outside of the foot on the straining attempt. But Christensen, who scored a goal in the 4th minute for FC Milwaukee Torrent against Milwaukee City AFC, nearly doubled the advantage for the Torrent in the 62nd minute of this outstanding contest. Glory with it now to the near side as they take it into the attacking half. That is Herbert. Looking for a 1-2 ball, but very well marked. A bit of a push by Herbert on Skinner-Barrett, who has done the work at both ends of the pitch. Controlled by the Glory. Drexler, substitute, outside the 18, having to play it quickly as Torhorst. That will be controlled by the Torrent. Trying to catch the keeper off her line. The Torrent headed by Christensen with the keeper in front of her. Torhorst. Torhorst has to act quickly, and she does knock the ball down. She'll distribute with a throw to the near side. Trudy Kwidzinski. Good thought there by the Torrent. At first, it looked like they were trying to take advantage of Torhorst being well off her line with a shot from long distance. But with the shot going well short, Christensen in the right place at the right time, and she tried to hit it up and over Torhorst. As we'll get a substitution now for the Glory. Carrie Giocaris returns. She'll replace Emily McCarthy. McCarthy, the leading goal scorer for the Glory coming into tonight, had 2 goals in that match against City and 1 against House. Cross far side, runner there. Off the right foot, off the cross, off the side post and in. An equalizer for the Glory. And it's 1-1. Jordan Shodden was the one who was on the back end of the cross. It was touched by Hopma. Discussion here in the box right now as to whether or not that should be an own goal off the hand of Hopma. We will watch it back on the replay before we make an official decision, but in the 64th minute of the match, the Green Bay Glory have got the equalizer they were seeking. It is 1-1. Ball played forward. Good run for Skinner Barrett. Edge of the 18. Little bouncing ball. Left-footed shot. Off the head of the keeper and in! Ashlyn Skinner Barrett. Just like that, FC Milwaukee Torrent answers in the 65th minute. It's 2-1. An outstanding individual effort by Ashlyn Skinner Barrett, who now has a goal and an assist on the night. And the Torrent take the lead right back. A little fake, a little move to the side, off the hand of Torhorst, and into the back of the twine. One of the best individual attacking plays you will see at this level. Skinner Barrett is your goal scorer. We will call that first goal for the Glory an own goal, as it looked like it bounced off of, again, the side post. Hopma knocked it with her hand, and it went into the goal. It was coming outward from the goal, but Hopma did catch it with her hand, and that was what directed the ball in. So it is going to be an own goal for the Torrent. That is the first goal for the Glory in the match. However, while that goal equalized the match in the 64th minute, it was Ashlyn Skinner Barrett coming right back the other direction to give the Torrent the 2-1 advantage. We talked about how these two teams had combined to score 18 goals in their previous 3 matches. After 63 minutes without much in terms of fireworks, we got plenty of them, a finale, if you will, within 1 minute of time. Torrent looking to maybe expand on the advantage. Ball played towards the near side. Coming up as that ball did not have much pace, Higgins. She will play it towards Skinner Barrett. On the end line, Skinner Barrett couldn't keep her balance. Ends up sending that one over the end line into the side of the goal. Goal kick for the Glory. And that was nothing, no criticism against the Glory, too, on that goal. Sometimes you do see teams relax a little bit after they score. A little caught up in the celebration, the fact that they got on the board. Nope. Glory were in the right place at the right time. It was just an outstanding individual effort by Skinner Barrett. Torrent do send 2 substitutes to the table at this time. Maya Wilson. Joined by Sarah Stadler, who will make her way onto the pitch for the first time tonight. Stadler, an LSU Tiger. Played her high school soccer with the outstanding program at New Berlin Eisenhower. The Lions won their first state championship a couple years ago. Were absolutely dominant in the Division III championship game in which they won that title.
Louisiana State. Oh, duh.
Quick substitution for the Glory as Lucy Kwidzinski comes off. Didn't see who came on there. I believe it was Emily McCarthy. She had come off at one point. Cross from Skinner Barrett. Torhorst able to get this one. Torhorst just holding on to the ball, looking for an opportunity. Now she'll punt it away. First touch by the Torrent and Lainey Higgins' head. On the far side, Maya Wilson came on for the Torrent. Neither team able to establish much possession-wise. Blue skies and things coming up blue for FC Milwaukee Torrent here. The skies have darkened as the night goes on, as the sun has set to the west side of Wauwatosa. Sievert, ball in, and that will be saved by Hopma. Torrent, not content to work out of the back that time, although that one went off of the side of the foot, out beyond the touchline. Throw in for the Glory in the attacking half. Andy Davi, active on his feet, goes and retrieves that ball from out from under the Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital tent. And our thanks to Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital for helping out with all things related to medical services for the Torrent. See their logo up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Proud sponsor of the Torrent as well. Head to MilwaukeeTorrent.com if you're out there and you've got a business that you think is a good fit for sponsorship for the Torrent. Support local soccer in Milwaukee. Such a proud history with the beautiful game in this town, and the Torrent have done a lot to add to that with everything that they have done the last few years, both on the men's and the women's side. A couple subs coming on for the Glory. Claire Bradford will be joined by Jenna Scholes.
Coming up for the Glory, number 7, Jenna Scholes, number 11, Claire Bradford.
That'll change things up in the midfield for the Glory. Among those coming off for the Glory is Lucy Kwidzinski, who, as she comes off, appears to be talking about a high kick that she thought should have been called. Distinctly made the Rockettes kicking motion as she came off the pitch and is now emphatically also pointing to her teammates, trying to get them to make a move forward as well. So a variety of things there. Lucy Kwidzinski, active on the bench. Speaking of active, Layla Kelbell making her way down the pitch. Cross into the middle, looking for a touch. Maya Wilson was there. She was maybe a step in front of the defender, though. The offside flag was up. Armin Sadzak does not feel the need to stop play as the ball was collected by Torhorst and the Glory. Now with it, a couple bounces off of the head and shoulder of Carrie Giocaris, who did make her way back out on the pitch. I believe that was the Glory substitution. Had not seen her yet in the second half. Kelbell, just inside the 18, marked by 2 Glory players. Ball taken away from her. There's Emily McCarthy back out there for the Glory. To Giocaris, who will work backwards. And her pass will be taken away by Maya Wilson. Towards the middle and Stadler to the near side. Ashlyn Skinner-Barrett. She's got a goal and an assist in the match already. She's got space in front of her at the edge of the 18. Shot coming down a little early, Allie Torhorst. At the risk of having a rebound come down, Torhorst landed on the ground before the ball came to her, and her elbows were kind of where the ball was, so she had to kind of adjust there to make sure that ball collected for her, but she was able to hold it in. Perhaps a dangerous moment for the Glory Keeper. We have substitutes at the table for both sides. And interesting here, Andy Davi has gone away from his usual substitution pattern here in the second half, having gotten quite the challenge from the Glory thus far. That is Trudy Kwidzinski, who takes a shot from distance that goes up and over. So we will have substitutions for both sides. On for the Glory, Jenna Bauman will return, and she has been quite dangerous for the Glory throughout the night. Meanwhile, it will be Caden Screamo who comes back on for the Torrent. Former Catholic Memorial Crusader, the program that Andy Davi coaches at the high school level, also attending St. Thomas. While Riley Winrich, I have had the Elmer Fudd issue with her name all night long. Wiley Winrich. No, Riley Winrich. Hello, good morning. No. Got to get that name right. Riley Winrich, not Wiley Winrich. She's number 6, is out of Toma. 10's Michigan Tech. She will be coming in shortly for the Glory. Ball to the near side. Skinner-Barrett looking for a brace. Ball is knocked away from her momentarily. She will look for a cross. Glory. They have been good along the back line tonight, even though they've given up a couple goals. An outstanding individual effort again by Skinner-Barrett was the one goal. The other was a cross where Balistreri happened to be in the right place at the right time. Also, the Torrent have sent Kate Downs to the table. She will come in momentarily. Andy Davi in this key match, knowing that the Glory have threatened here and did briefly equalize this match at 1-1. Going a little bit more strategic with his substitutions here in the second half. Winrich does come on for the Glory. We will also see the return of Mallory Herber for the Green Bay Glory. She comes on at the last second. In the corner, Kelbell trying to make a move, trying to win a corner, and does win a corner. She goes to the outside with the right foot. It is deflected away by Callie Drexler. Corner kick. Kelbell will be the one to take. Just like the keeper, Hopma, she is a Drake Bulldog. Headed at first by the Torrent, then sent on it in! It was Stadler who got the first header. And then the third goal of the night for FC Milwaukee Torrent, and it's Layla Kelbell! We have talked throughout the night about how the Torrent have wanted to capitalize on all of these corner kicks they have been getting throughout the match. Correction, it's Kate Downs who scores the goal.
Milwaukee Torrent goal by number 5, Kate Downs.
Downs with the goal in the 76th minute. And that doubles the Torrent advantage to 2 at 3-1. One could even say the Torrent have arguably scored 4 goals in the match, considering that the one Glory goal was an own goal. However, that one counts on the wrong side of the scoreboard. This one counts on the side that the Torrent wanted to count it on. It was Kate Downs. But it started with Stadler, and Stadler, where she needed to be at the end of that corner kick. Gave it time. It found a friendly head. And Downs is the one with the finish. 3-1 FC Milwaukee Torrent. At this point, the 2-goal advantage is a big deal for this Torrent side. Because the Glory have threatened. And you know they will turn up the tempo here at the end of this match to try and at least get one of those back. Of course, they're going to try and aim to get 2 and maybe even 3. That time, though, they worked a little bit too fast. It was Herber or we should say Winrich, tried to go to the head. Instead, it came to Hotma off of that head. Torrent now will be a little bit more deliberate with this 2-goal lead. They play it direct through the middle. Torrent now do send more substitutes to the table. A little bit more comfortable now with this 2-goal lead. Among those who are there, Addison Stanchik, Sydney Ballas, Lily Tabor, who we have not yet seen in this match, along with Abby Hall. Kelbell taken down as she tried to save that one from going out beyond the touchline. And now, with a little bit too much to say, Kelbell will be shown a yellow card. It comes in the 79th minute. Kelbell got up, had words for both Armin Sadzak and the player she encountered, Mallory Herber. And whatever it was that Sadzak heard, he took offense and decided to put Kelbell's name in his book. So we do see Tabor and Hall come on, both players out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, for the Torrent, following the yellow card against Kelbell. At the end of the day, I don't think Andy Davi minds that. In fact, he just went over and gave a big 5 to Kelbell, and I think he likes that aspect of players' personalities. And I have been around women's soccer at a high level collegiately for upwards of 25 years. And one thing that I have seen collectively from a lot of coaches through the years, whether it be Michael Moynihan and David Nikolic when they were at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, or obviously Marcus Roders spent all kinds of time, another German national, coached the Marquette Golden Eagles for many, many years, and they love players that show some fire. That when there is something like that, they get up and they've got a little bit of sass to them, if you will. Now, yeah, you don't want to be accumulating too many cards. You don't want to have your players stepping up and shoving a player or anything like that. But you know what? When you've got a player who's into it, who has an opinion, who thinks they're doing the right thing and is willing to voice that opinion, you don't mind that all that much. And I think Andy Davi, with Kelbell coming off in that substitution following the yellow card and giving that emphatic 5 to Kelbell, made the point to say, hey, you know what? I like the fact you're working that hard. I like the fact you're that into it. I want to see that. So, goodness knows, Andy Davi, there are few head coaches throughout the WPSL who have more fire in their belly than Mr. Davi does. And indeed, he was booked last week in the 4-0 victory for FC Milwaukee Torrent over Milwaukee City AFC. A relatively easy victory for the Torrent. Falling to the ground is Abby Hall. That might set something up for the Glory. Ball deflected on the cross. And then there's contact made as Winrich tried to make a move and take a shot, but Winrich had the ball knocked away from her. Throw in for the Glory on the far side. 81st minute of this match, ticking into the 82nd minute. Glory up Torrent up 3-1. Ball played to the far side. Crossed back into the middle, nothing there. One touch for Stadler, who had the assist on the last goal, taken away by the Glory. Glory need to start thinking about pushing forward, down 2 with probably about 10 minutes remaining in this match. We will get a whistle and we will get a set piece for the Glory. Abby Hall is the one who commits that foul. Emily McCarthy was the one who drew it. Speaking of the fiery Andy Davi, shouting out instructions for the wall. Kate Hopman lining up the wall with the near post. Taking her position in the center of the goal line, making sure everything is square. Trudy Kwidzinski is the one behind the ball right now. She will take this set piece for the Glory. Let's see if she tries to play this on frame or if she looks for a teammate. She will try and play it on frame, and she will play it up and over the frame of the goal. It will be a goal kick for the Torrent. Opportunity there for the Glory. But Trudy Kwidzinski put a little bit too much behind it. Jordan Shodden returns for the Green Bay Glory. The Hawaii Hilo player. We talked quite a bit about her after she transferred from Bemidji State. Talk about a little change in climate going from Bemidji State to Hawaii Hilo. Bemidji State up in Minnesota. From Lutefisk to Poi. Probably the first player. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that she is the first player to transfer from Bemidji State to Hawaii Hilo in the history of both institutions. I feel fairly confident in that, even though I have not looked up that fact. I'll have to get Elias Stats Bureau on that one. Lainey Weichert will come on for the Green Bay Glory. Yeah, it's Kevin O'Connor mentioning the fact off the air right now that that's a bit of a culture change. Yeah, Bemidji, Minnesota is one of the coldest places in the country, and you go from there to Hawaii. Well, we know what she thought of the weather in her first college experience. Ah, yes.
From a guy who used to run half-mile repeats in January in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Not fun.
Glory take possession. McCarthy, Division I player for the Glory. Marquette loses possession, though. Greta Hansen intercepts a pass. She'll take it back. Little 1-2 ball action played forward. One touch. Sarah Stadler. The LSU Tiger. She'll take the throw in. Torrent, they're content to just play a game of passing the ball around if they have to, with the 2-goal advantage in the 85th minute. Ball played to the near side. Stanchak tried to chip that one up and over the keeper. Instead, almost chipped it up and out of Hart Park. That will roll all the way to the back fencing beyond the track. Headed forward by McCarthy for the Glory. Glory will get a throw in. As you can see, their technical staff ensuring that they can get the ball out there quickly, knowing that time is of the essence for this Glory squad. Down 2. Shodden. Contact made, and we will get a whistle. Will be a foul against Tabor. Drawn by Bauman. We have an injured Glory player hopping over to the touchline is Trudy Kwidzinski. She will take a seat. Jenna Scholes will return for the Glory. Inopportune time for Trudy Kwidzinski to have to come off for the Glory. Again, she had 2 of the 4 goals against Chicago House AC. That means that this set piece will be taken by Allison Rosh. The former Wausau West player sends it wide of the mark. 86th minute. Goodness knows Hopma will be content to take her time here. She will, of course, have to send it away. Goal kick for the Torrents. That appeared to come off the head of Winrich. However, they will give possession to the Glory. The throw-in, though, comes directly to the Torrent. Can't control. McCarthy. Nice left-footed pass to Herber. Herber has it taken away from her. Going down somewhat easy is Hall, but she does draw the whistle. That's what you call a professional play right there.
I mean, it wasn't like LeBron's-esque, let's be honest.
There was some contact. It definitely was not a phantom foul, let's put it that way.
It wasn't an NBA flop.
Throw in taken quickly by the Glory, but controlled by the Torrent. Torrent content to just send the ball down the pitch at this point if they have the opportunity. And as this match ticks into the 88th minute, we will start looking to see just how much stoppage time there will be on the clock. Trudy Kwidzinski now back on her feet, and she will walk back to the Glory bench. There may still be time for her to get back on, but if there is, it will be quite limited. Throw in just sent deep into the attacking half for the Torrent. That'll be sent out over the end line, and they will say that it was off of Maya Wilson. Glory trying to move quickly. Settling the ball is Torhorst before she sends it to a defender. Glory will work out of the back. That will go out off of the Torrent. It will be a throw-in for the Glory. They want to get the ball quickly. Again, we're in the 88th minute. We will move into the 89th minute shortly. 3-1, the Torrent on the strength of goals in the 13th, 65th, and 76th minutes. The match was level at 1-1 in the 64th minute after a Torrent own goal. In off the hand of Kate Hopma after the ball rattled off the side post. However, the Torrent answered right back as Ashlyn Skinner-Barrett wound her way through the Glory defense and was able to score a goal, sliding it left of the keeper, Torhorst. And then the Torrent got one more off a corner kick. Kate Downs was the finisher as Sarah Stadler got ahead on the corner in the 76th minute. Nothing there for the Glory on that last attack try. Little back heel action for Downs. Couldn't find anyone. Glory get it back. Trying to stop on top of the ball is Winrich. She is pressured off of it. Ball goes out. We will have a throw in for the Glory. Everyone on the Glory moving quickly to their spots. Referee checking his watch. Signal to the fourth official for stoppage time. Inside the 18. We'll get a whistle and a push from behind. Indication is 3 minutes of stoppage time. See if we can confirm that on the way back.
3 minutes. 3 minutes of stoppage time.
Get a whistle and a foul. That will go against the Torrent. Kate Downs. Allison Roche. Normally this would be Trudy Kwidzinski taking these, but Kwidzinski still on the bench. After she went down, it appeared to be some sort of an issue with her right leg. Roche. Sends it towards the near post. Looked like the Glory were lining up far post. Hopma probably didn't even have to touch that one. Instead, she did. The Torrent content to take it down the right side of the pitch. Stanchak finds Skinner-Barrett. Skinner-Barrett will play it back, and really all the Torrent have to do is possess here. We are into the 3 minutes of stoppage time. On the far side of the pitch, cross to the middle. Torrent understandably sitting back right now, so no one really there. However, the ball comes to the Torrent, and we're almost to the point now where you start thinking about just taking it to a corner. And indeed, Stanchak, although she tries to cross it into the middle. Sent away by the Glory, throw in for the Torrent. Andy Davi takes his time, flips it in the direction of Stanchak. Throw in will be taken by Hall. Headed by the Glory. As soon as the Glory get possession, goodness knows they're going to take off in the other direction. Trip outside the 18, then another trip, kind of accidental there. Now we do see the Torrent take it into the corner, and they're content to just sit with it there, put a foot on top of the ball. Glory take it away for the moment, but it's taken away by the Torrent. Shot deflected up and over the keeper and in! Addison Stanchik, goal number 4 for the Torrent in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. And FC Milwaukee Torrent will walk away with a victory over the Glory tonight. It is 4-1 in favor of the Torrent on the pinballing shot by Addison Stanchik.
Fourth FC Milwaukee Torrent goal by number 32, Addison Stanchik.
Glory do restart things quickly as they have to, down 3, but this one is pretty much all over, but putting the final on to Squatty. FC Milwaukee Torrent in this Central Region WPSL Game of the Week. In a top 20 national matchup, come out and put 4 goals on the Green Bay Glory, with the exclamation point added by Addison Stanchik in the 2nd minute of second half stoppage time. Don't really think that there was much intent there. I mean, yeah, Stanchik was taking a shot, and ultimately it bounced off a couple of Glory players, but Torhorst, nothing she could do. She was playing forward just in case. Possession was won by the Glory. There is your final whistle, and what a victory for FC Milwaukee Torrent. A 4-1 win for the Torrent over the Green Bay Glory. A Glory team that had scored 14 goals and allowed just 1 coming into the night. But after the Glory defeat Chicago House AC 4-1, the Torrent flipped the script and put the same final line on the Glory here at Hart Park this evening. Balistreri, Skinner, Barrett, Downs, and Stanchik score the goals for the Torrent. And the Torrent also put a goal in their own net as Kate Hopma could not control a ball that rattled off the woodwork in the 64th minute. But the Torrent do score in the 13th, 65th, 76th, and 2nd minute of stoppage time in the second half in order to get this big WPSL victory as they once again take control of the Lake Michigan division and get this win over a Glory team. You know, and we have to say it here at the end of this broadcast, while the score line may be 4-1 at the end of this match, it was a much more equal match than the 4-1 score should indicate. The Glory were right there the whole night, had a couple opportunities, ring off the post. That shot by Jenna Bauman that went off the crossbar. If that shot is just a couple inches lower, we might be talking about an entirely different match. However, they do get the equalizer in that 64th minute, the difference maker for the Torrent, Ashlyn Skinner Barrett, who had an assist on the first goal by Balistreri, but then just an amazing individual effort, waving her way through Glory defenders to score that second goal, answer right back for the Torrent, take away all the momentum the Glory had won by getting their first goal, and ultimately the Torrent tack on 2 more goals in the final 15 minutes of play in order to get the victory tonight. A win that Andy Davi and his squad should be very, very proud of as they look to try and win yet another Lake Michigan Division Championship here in 2025. Although the schedule does not get much easier for FC Milwaukee Torrent on the women's side, as Tuesday night they will be on the north side of town to take on Bavarian United SC, and the Bavarians always give the Torrent women quite the challenge. It is the rivalry of rivalries for the Torrent with the Bavarians. That is listed right now with an 8 o'clock start time at the Bavarian Soccer Complex. If you have the opportunity, head on up there and take it in person if you want, as FC Milwaukee Torrent's women try to continue their success this season. Andy Davi right now continuing to have discussions with the officials after the conclusion of the match. And we did have that one instance again earlier in the match where Torhorst appeared to come out beyond the edge of the 18 and capture the ball with her hands. So that might be what is continuing to be discussed right now. But certainly a emphatic discussion being had between Davi and the officials right now here at the conclusion of this contest. Nonetheless, it will be the Torrent women taking on the Bavarians on Tuesday night at the Bavarian Soccer Complex. 8 o'clock start for that one. In terms of being back here at Hart Park on Saturday night next week, June 7th, it'll be the Torrent men going up against the Southern Indiana Guardians. 7 o'clock start time for that one, and we will have coverage here on the FC Milwaukee Torrent YouTube channel. Make sure to tune in for that one, as the men, who are also unbeaten on the season thus far, as they are in the middle right now of a game against Michigan Rangers, We don't have a final on that one, but we believe that they were able to get a victory in that one. They were leading at halftime 2-1. We'll check on that real quick. We'll try and get you a score update before we finish up with the broadcast here. But next Saturday, be here at Hart Park, 7 o'clock for FC Milwaukee Torrent on the men's side as they take on Southern Indiana Guardians. Indeed, 2-1 was the final in the men's match tonight, so the men are still unbeaten and undrawn on the season thus far.
They're in first place now. That's a 1-2 matchup.
Want to say thanks to everyone involved with the broadcast tonight, of course, to Andy Davi, everyone involved with the Milwaukee Torrent, the guy who makes all of this happen, Kevin O'Connor. The one with the technical expertise, the one who does the PA announcing, the one who sets up all of the equipment and does just an absolutely spectacular job. My name is Dan Pfeiffer. I am saying be a fan. Thanks for joining us, and do make your way back out here on Saturday night to see the Torrent men take on Southern Indiana. Although if you can't make it out, again, we will have coverage on the YouTube channel. That game does start at 7 o'clock on Saturday. Here tonight, FC Milwaukee Torrent facing a big challenge from the Green Bay Glory, but coming away victorious, 4-1, your final from Hart Park. Good night, everybody. This has been FC Milwaukee Torrent Women's Soccer.